Hello everyone. It's FPL Yellow Army here, reporting for duty, looking back on game week 38 and ultimately what was the 2025 to 26 FPL season for my team. And all in all, we'll look back at how game week 38 got on, how the season got on for me, and my first season in the FPL Pubcast team. It's great to be part of the team, and it was great to have that flexibility to, come on when I had the availability. The Pubcast Ghost was my nickname, but in the end, I think, I've actually managed to squeeze myself into a good rank, rather than some people who have finished in the millions. Won't mention any names. I've glided my way through like a ghost into a very respectable rank come the end of the season, despite some tricky game weeks in between. So, all in all, this is how it looked. In game week 38, we had only one free transfer, so we took a -4 because of the news of Erling Haaland not being in the squad. And also, we had Salah on the final day, which was an opportunity I just couldn't turn down. The FPL GOAT for one last time. So I took a -4. I took out Haaland and I brought in Tati Castellanos for West Ham in their final game of that relegation battle. Really liked his data and his expected goals in the recent games and his brilliant return against Newcastle. And I felt that he would be a nice differential, about 0.3% owned, to take on those Bowen transfers. So I brought him in for Haaland, and then I did Salah in for Bukayo Saka, who we all thought would be benched against Crystal Palace, and scored 57 points, which in any game week would be pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Got a few returns in there. For Bruggen, got 2 points. I started him over Darlow. Bit disappointing. I thought Brighton would keep the clean sheet. They've been very good all season defensively, but it wasn't to be. The back three, double Bournemouth and double Brighton defence. Forest did score in the end, unfortunately, but again, Bournemouth were going for Europe, so backed their defence all season. And Hill and Senesi with 3 and 2. Kadioglu with just the 1. Then the midfield, captaincy Salah 12. Pretty happy with that. Although it ultimately did cost me not captaining Bruno Fernandes. If I'd have known that Salah would have hit the post, I'd have been a bit more happy with it because, he could have hauled with that lovely free kick. And of course, he was subbed early on his final game. So unlucky, really, with Salah. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes was the one player, really, that in my team I didn't want to return because in mini leagues battles that I had up against other friends, he was captain just through Haaland or Saka not playing for a lot of people. So I was annoyed when Bruno got his haul, 14 points. Fair play if you went there. Tavernier got me 10, which was really nice. He's been sort of dodgy at the end of the season, but nice to see a nice gift on the final day with a double-digit return. And then Jack Hinchelwood, who's been a brilliant asset for me this season, really delivered the differential returns. I'll let him off in the final week. Didn't get a goal against Manchester United. And then we move on to the front line. Joao Pedro, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Tati Castellanos, as I mentioned, got me that lovely differential goal. And when he scored the opener against Leeds, I was thinking, right, this is brilliant. Going to outscore Jared Bowen, get me potentially 3 bonus points. But then Jared Bowen got the goal for the second West Ham one, and it was assisted by Bowen, the first one anyway. So he slightly outscored Castellanos. Unlucky there. But still, good transfer, nice differential punt. And Calvert-Lewin and Pedro frustrating. Unfortunately, Pedro getting booked and Calvert-Lewin doing nothing against West Ham in the same fixture. Then on the bench, we had Darlow for 2, got the same as Verbruggen, didn't really matter. And then all the Arsenal players I felt would be benched. So I benched Trossard, benched Gabriel, who only got 1 point off the bench in the Arsenal game. And then O'Reilly didn't get any points because he didn't play. So all in all, we finish with an overall rank this season of 241,597. So top 250k for me, which, considering the way the season's gone, it was a bit of a tough season at times, quite a wearing season, quite a difficult one to navigate through. And, with all the changes to the point scoring, DEFCON, and the double chips and the 5-3 transfers, there's been a lot of strange points this season with, players you wouldn't expect, like CDMs and centre-backs that you would never usually pick. So I think it was a season of adjustment, definitely. And considering all of that, and where I saw myself earlier on in the season. I mean, we had a good end to the season, really. 2 red arrows in our final 7 game weeks, which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. All things considered, it was a good little end. We didn't have a nice middle. We had a run of 6 green arrows and red arrows in a row, which was pretty nasty. But then, pretty good start. I was sort of making some good ground the first few weeks. Game week 7 up to 911k, and then it was a bit up and down after that. But we managed to secure a top 250k rank, which, to be fair, is actually not bad in terms of what I've done in the past. In 1920, I finished about 1.3 million. That was another team on another account, so ignore that rank from 1920. But in terms of in the 8 seasons I've played, this is my 5th highest finish, so not great. And unfortunately, no league titles for me this season in my mini leagues, which is a bit frustrating. A few red arrows here, as you can see. Ultimately, we went into the final day at 233k, and we dropped about 9k or 8k or so into 241k. So it's a bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, despite no league titles, we did at least get a cup. So I feel like Liverpool from the 21-22 season, where we couldn't quite get a league title, but we did manage to win the cup. And as you can see here, we got the job done in the extraordinary FPL Cup, League of Extraordinary, beating Cameron on the final day. So yeah, all in all, not great, but pretty happy with that final rank. And we go again in 26, 27. Hopefully a bit higher a finish, and we can get that top 100k and then see where we go from there. But thanks for watching my content on the podcast this season. See you next season, people.